Hey, beautiful people. Happy Saturday. This is officially episode 4 of Single Saturdays, and I'm so excited because they say it takes 21 days to break a habit or to create a new habit. So the fact that Get On Up with Erica J is officially a month years old makes me happy that I've been consistent and giving you all the information and skill sets to kind of get through your day-to-days with a smile and with some encouragement. As we get started, our guest today is Shumerria Harris. She's a good friend of mine. She's a sister. We actually are both actresses, and we've met in the acting world through acting class. And when I tell you, hey Dav, when I tell you she in Shumerria, I see you guys. When her and I go way back, I'm telling you, we've been through all of it together, from going and supporting each other on our projects that we're doing, to crying on each other's shoulders in times of just like not knowing what was going to happen in life. And when I tell you, today's topic is all about girls talk. It is something that we've all been through, and men have been through heartbreak too. I have a tendency to do that. I don't want to just disregard guys. Your feelings are valid, and I want you guys all to come in and give your point of view, but I'm a woman, so I can only give a woman's perspective. And because Shumerria is one as well, we're going to have girls talk. And today's topic is how to heal after a heartbreak. And ladies and gentlemen, we've all been hurt, and hurt doesn't come with a look. It doesn't matter how talented you are, how beautiful you are, we've all been hurt, and that's never an easy thing to get over. But we are going to go ahead and get into it, and I have my go-to broken-hearted song, but because my energy is very hyper, the song that I'm going to pick is very hyper. So go ahead and put in the comments what your go-to healing breakup song is, or breakup or healing song, which one, and I'm going to go ahead and add Shumerria into the chat so we can talk about it, get into it. Happy Saturday again, everyone, and enjoy the conversation. All right, I've done this enough times to know exactly what to do. There we go. See, I didn't mess up this time. I got it. Shumerria, I sent you the request. Let me know if you got it, okay? Shumerria, I know I did it right. It might have a little delay. All right, try it again. Why? Did you get it, Shumerria? Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, the word. Okay. Girl, you I got my phone on my tripod. You don't judge me, honey. I'm at home. Okay.
Girl,
so,
all good. I can't see nothing though. Hold on, let me turn this down, because now I have to back you up a little bit, because you're sideways, and I feel like I want to go like this a little bit.
Right. That's how you look at me too.
Girl, how you doing? You all right? Oh, that's much better. Yeah. So, sis, you looking good.
Well, thank you. You know what I'm saying? The relaxation to do you good. You know what I mean?
Hello, self-care is everything. Look, the swoop. She got the swoop. Listen.
Okay. You know what I'm saying?
What you said?
I said, you know what I'm saying? Got the swoop going. Let me see it.
Okay. And you know how it's real when you ain't been tying up your braids like you need to, and they start to look a little rough in the front. So you gotta start wearing them headbands. Yeah, it's one of them kind of days.
You don't want to walk around here looking like Lil Wayne.
Oh no. Ooh, no. You heard he broke up with his girlfriend. His girlfriend broke up with him. You heard about that, right?
He broke up with his girlfriend because of her beliefs, her support for Joe Biden. Girl, that is not law.
Yeah. He tried to flip the script. That's something that Libra would do. She broke up with him because he was supporting Trump, and then he tried to flip the script. It's okay, boo-boo. You got your feelings hurt.
Get lost.
Hello. So, before we get into it, okay? Hey, everybody. I can't see right now because I had to push the camera back. So, hello to everybody who is tuning in right now because I can't see. I got my glasses. So, So I appreciate y'all. And what I want y'all to do is go ahead and put your favorite or what your go-to breakup song is or what it used to be. And get yours ready, Shumerria, because I'm about to play mine in about 0.2 seconds. Right? So we all been through there. We're like, oh my God, I can't believe he hurt my feelings like this. God, why is this happening to me? And then we call our girl.
I'm listening.
All right. And then now, we just have to heal ourselves. And that's not easy. It's not easy. And when we look in hindsight over the stupid boys we done cried over, we be like, man, my nigga, okay? And like, let's be real. So I'm pretty sure a lot of us have had to learn how to love ourselves again and heal ourselves again. So that's the process. We're going to get into all of it. Somebody asked the question. Hold on. Oh, thank you. You're beautiful too, Queen. I love that. You just made my day. Okay. So I'm going to play my song for you, and I want y'all to sing along, play the little tune. Like to hear it, here it go. You got your song, Shumerria?
Oh, wait. No, I don't have it pulled up. I do have a song, though.
What you finna do a cappella? I know you. And I'll be the background singer.
Oh, no. You play a song. You play a song.
Girl, what is that? Listen, I done pulled it up, too, to prepare for this very moment, and the song done disappeared. All right, let me just do it again. I can with technology. I'm like, it will not let you be great in anything. All right. What's your go-to song, ladies? Don't be shy. Innocent. Okay.
This is amazing. This is giving me time to eat my apples, sip my water. I went for a run. A little while ago.
Is it oatmeal or no?
Just enough time to hop in the shower. You know what I'm saying? It cut me up like some apple. I ain't got no milk, so I couldn't make my cereal. But that's all right. We're gonna go to the food store, grocery store when I finish with this.
How was your run? Was it good? You heard me?
What you say?
Your run was good?
Yeah, it was good. It was really nice. Cause it's just like so pretty outside today. It was just really
I'm loving the weather. Like it can't make up its mind. All right, here go my song. All right, DJ Erica on the 1s and 2s. Bet.
Okay, now.
Bet. Y'all listen. When this come on in the club, okay.
Let me explain to you.
Y'all hear that?
It's not even like that.
Really though?
Yeah, I don't love.
You don't love me.
You know what?
You hear it?
I don't want to touch. You don't mean nothing to me. I want to see you.
I hear it.
You hear it? Sing it.
Wait, not really. Hold on.
I know. This thing will not let me be great. Oh my God. Y'all hear it? Thinking you gon' get you some, smelling like some fragrance that I don't even wear. So if you want some loving, I suggest you
back there where you came from.
Baby, with you, it's always something else. Working my nerves. God knows that I don't deserve what you put me through, 'cause I've been so
It's so true to
you come at me with the I heard it all before.
I remember that song, yeah.
What? Baby this, baby that, but your life ain't working now. Hey, I had to get that off. What's yours? Sis? Hey, Tay.
Let me see.
Hey.
Oh,
Tay, put your love song. What's your breakup song?
Oh my God. Yeah, I was somebody YouTube with these commercials because they just like every time I be ready to get in the groove, here you go. Oh wait,
right.
wait.
You was right. Oh yes, Tay, I cannot wait to read your book. Oh my God.
I was on dope Thursday.
Not
the high that I again. Come on.
So we left it for 3 whole years. I forgot the word.
No days again.
Hey.
Forever. Come on.
Church.
Hey. I know Jasmine Sullivan. She remind me of like, her raspiness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
She had a challenge the other day too.
Yeah. Okay. I'm done. I'm done.
Shit.
Oh my God.
You said Chris Brown Deuces Tay. That's a good one. That's a good song. All right, so for real, all day. Listen, I don't be hesitating. Back in the day, old school Erica, young Erica, not woke Erica, used to be like, no, don't leave. Oh my God, come back. Where you going? Now,
Erica.
now I have matured, and let me tell you, I remember the first time I actually talked back. Because remember, even though y'all see this Erica, I was not always like this. I was always I'm shy by nature. So I was always timid, always shy. And like if he wanted to do something or didn't want to do something, I would walk on eggshells in those relationships. And I'm so glad that I'm pretty sure a lot of us have kind of gone through that, like that tiptoeing because of how we were raised to be submissive. But I remember the first time I talked back, that was an invigorating feeling. I was like, being mute does not help anybody. I talk back. So whoever I'm with, he better to know I talk back, okay? Through experience.
I had sassiness to me. Like I'm cool, I'm easy to get along with until you start trying to kind of like dictate what I can and can't do, like where I can go. You start saying, oh, why you wearing that? Like, it wasn't a problem when you came over here hollering at me.
Exactly.
You met me. So why is it a problem now? Like,
you're right.
You know,
all of it, because we're not property. And I think society and through the subconscious has allowed men to feel like we are their objects. Don't objectify me. Okay?
That's social conditioning. Like certain things are innate by nature, like we were given, by nature. And then there's a lot of our behavior is social conditioning. Mm-hmm. So we groom women, and not just in American culture, Southern culture, like, in many different cultures, like worldwide, women are groomed like to be a wife. Like that's your main objective in life. Like, right. Even if things has evolved now, your main objective, like, get a career, all that, but your main goal in life is to get a husband. And it's been tied into our value and our worth as a person. And that should be separate from who you are as a person. And that's not but men are groomed to look at women as objects. Like from when you think about how they talk to little boys. Hey, little man. Hey, little man.
Right.
Hey, how many girlfriends you got?
Oh, right.
Over there. Yeah. Oh, he a little flirt already. Look, I'm going to flirt with her. That he flirting with. You see what I'm saying? You little boys to sow the royal oats, so to speak, and then you just expect them to at some point know automatically after they've been groomed
to just be wild and reckless.
You just assume that at some point they're just gonna that's just gonna switch off after they've been programmed to look at women like that. You just automatically assume that they're just gonna automatically know. Oh, what now? I don't look at women like that anymore. Like, it don't really work like that.
It's a training, and that's what everything comes from, training. You know what I'm saying? You got to train your children up the right way, especially young men and ladies. I mean, it's for both of us, because when you think about it, just being in the house in conditioning, Thanksgiving dinner, the girls are in the kitchen helping to make plates, helping to set the tables. Boys, they watching football. They outside doing whatever they want to do, and it's just like this conditioning. And I understand with this whole movement about gender roles, I get it. I get the fact that, don't put me in a box. If God's purpose for anybody listening is to not have children, we have to be okay with that. We are career driven. We have a brain. And that's what I hate about when men objectify, like, oh girl, you got a fat ass, you got some nice titties. Okay, how about you get to know my name? How about you get to know me? You understand what I'm saying? Because, and I think deep down inside too, in some instances when it comes on to men approaching women, the fact that they just have a penis to a degree makes them feel entitled to just, that you should just be happy to be with them because they have a penis. And I'm sorry, but that's not the way the world works in my world, at least. You understand? Because my grandmother always used to say, God rest her soul, she used to say, a sweeter one born every day. All right? You already know, Shumerria, a sweeter one born every day, which pretty much means get off your high horse. You understand? Because there's somebody that is better than you. You understand? And that's what I don't like, this false ego. You know, this ego that some men have. And it's so shallow because, you know, I've been doing a lot of self-work throughout the years, as you know, sis. And you have too. So, you know, we reading books and we doing what we got to do. But the sad thing about it is so many people don't want to do the self-work. And like, right. And we were talking about
what I've noticed when people really start looking within and they see negative traits about themselves, the people tend not to want to deal with that because no one wants to feel like or to think that they're a bad person. So to own up to negative traits and to own up to negative parts of yourself that aren't, you know, to the world standards, very flattering. People either try and downplay that or they push it to the back of their minds or they try not to deal with it because they don't want to feel like they're a bad person.
Right.
And it doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you have negative traits like the rest of us.
Right.
But owning up to them.
They don't want to own the shit.
Dealing with them is the first step to transforming that. To turning that from negative traits to positive traits. Right. So, and that's a big issue when it comes to really growth, right? And getting to know yourself. So, yeah. What's we talked about heartbreak,
right? So I wanted to go. Wait, you was gonna say something else?
You said I was healing, how to heal after heartbreak.
We're not gonna heal yet. We're gonna talk about what was the heartbreak that catapulted us into wanting to find ourselves? Because again, everything in life is a stepping stone. You know, your first boyfriend, your first kiss, whatever it may be, and it's a stepping stone. And I don't know if you all noticed that as you're dating people, there are a lot of similarities in each person that you're dating, but each one is magnified differently. You understand? But it is a reflection of you. So the biggest heartbreak for me was I ain't saying no names, but
no, honey, ain't nobody giving them no shine. Ain't nobody about to give them no, ain't nobody give them that time. Okay,
no names. But okay, so this was him and I met when I lived in Atlanta. All right, and we were seeing each other in Atlanta, and then in the midst of, he was living in Jersey at the time, and in the midst of all that, when I moved up to New York. Maybe a year later, he moved back to Atlanta. But we were talking about, you know, getting engaged, the whole nine. You understand? And it ended up being that when he went back down to go for his master's is when he started to act different. Is when he wanted to act distant and different. And I mean, I'm not stupid. We all know because they all do the same thing. They all start disappearing. So anyway, we were trying the long distance thing. We were going to try to make that work. That was a promise that we made to each other. And in my mind, again, it's how we're raised. It's a lot of, again, social conditioning to how we were raised. But I was very hopeful, you know what I'm saying? Because here it is, like my best friend, you know, in the midst of relationship, because you have to end up being that with your significant other. And we had that, and that was so precious to me. And girl, I don't know if I think I knew you at this time, but it ended up being that something wasn't right, and it was that thing in the back of my mind, something's not right. And I was like, yo. So then I ended up playing detective, right? So don't judge me, we all do. We listen. The FBI need to hire me, okay? But no, but I was starting to do some digging because something wasn't right. And like he would just have these attitudes. I call him like, babe, you at the gym? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, why are you acting so? What you gonna take all my problems? You gonna take all my problems? He would just start lashing out on me, and I'm like, something is not right. So it ended up being that I found out that he got a girl pregnant. Okay. And when I had like a moment of just like confusion, like I did not know how to handle it. And it just broke my heart because I'm like, here we are, we talking about all these things and moving to the next level, and this is what I have to walk into. Right. So I was like, okay, Erica, act like you don't know. But then I couldn't act like that, so I was like, I called him. I said, yo, as much as we talking, as much as we've grown together as a couple, you didn't think I was gonna find out,
right?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Here go the BS. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. You wilding, you tripping, whatever, right?
All right,
girl. So then he calls me back, and he's like, "Babe, I didn't know how to tell you. It was too much on my shoulders. I don't know how to get rid of the ball and chain. Come back, baby." And I'm like, you didn't give me options. You took those options away from me. And now here I am carrying this burden of, and then come to find out, his family didn't even know about the girl or the baby. So he was hiding it from everybody because he was ashamed. And I'm not trying to throw shade on nobody. We're all God's creation. But when you are of a certain standard as a woman and you're ambitious and you want to go for things, and I mean, she was 19 and we're here 27, 28, and you dip a 19-year-old. And again, I'm not judging, but then it shows that he was never who he really said he was. You feel me? Because I mean, to me, in my mind, there was nothing that an 18 or 19-year-old could give me even as a 28-year-old. You understand what I'm saying? And I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. So, like, he was like, babe, let's try it. Like, I'm going to come back to Jersey. Like, we can make it work. And I was like, all right. So I thought about it. I said I was going to think about it. And we tried for like maybe a month and a half. I tried to forgive it. But the type of person that I am is I'm an honest person. I'm not perfect, but I am honest. And the thing about it is that's one thing I value. Do not take my options away from me, and do not lie to me, because my energy is not that of one that's going to bust windows out your car. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that energy. Like, I feel like we should sit down and have a conversation. That does not mean take me for granted, because there is a side to Erica you do not want to see, and I don't like to unleash her. So I try my best to keep my crown on, Tiff, okay? And keep it and be as dignified as possible, because I really don't want to have to go to jail. So I say all of that to say that was my biggest heartbreak. And it took me
to have to pay a crackhead to cut your ties up either.
Okay. Hey, hello. No, but it's that particular.
No, we're beyond that. We're evolved. We're evolved.
Definitely evolved. Listen, girl. But when I say that relationship took me about 2 years to get over. 2 years to get over. And that in particularly, right? Because he would, and you know how they play the games where they try to call your phone and hang up like you don't know it's them calling you. To hear your voice. Like, come on. Like, listen, I understand the dichotomy of a man is a lot different than a woman. You understand? We are the receivers of things, and that's why it does take us a longer time to heal. They just release. So the biggest difference between the two of us, to me, in my opinion, is that men just get weaker. But it's easy to regain your strength from just being weak. You get some sustenance, you get some sunlight. For women, we have to purge. We have to purge. We have to cry. We have to pray. We have to heal, because we have to get out all the things that you release within us out of our system. If people really think about
that's what an orgasm is.
Sexually. But I'm talking about the spiritual work, Shumerria Aquanetta Harris. The spiritual work is you have to purge. And that part is the hard part. So in my space of where I am right now spiritually and being celibate personally is by choice, because I don't want to have to keep going through the purging system. I want to know that the person that I choose to give my temple to in the future is the right one. And it's through prayer and supplication and meditation and incense burning and sage and whatever else I got to burn, because I don't want to have to go through this shit no more. But I digress. So that was my heartbreak that took me. It also gave me the wake-up call to actually delve into finding myself and loving myself and finding out who I am and what I really desire. So that's all the stuff on my chest. Okay. So Shumerria, go ahead, talk about your heartbreak. What was the heartbreak that did it for you?
Well, I can say it was just definitely a learning lesson. Long story short, I was dating this particular person, and you know, I was groomed to you know, date for marriage. Mm-hmm. You know, you grow up, you are looking for a husband. Mm-hmm. And so I was, you know, I met this person, we clicked, we vibed. He had a lot of qualities that I wanted in a husband, and we started dating exclusively. And marriage is something that he wanted. We talked about it like many times, and so, you know, I'm under the impression that eventually the end goal is marriage. Mm-hmm. And long story short, I come find out he didn't have a baby on me. At least not that I know of, but he had a problem, like a air grenade type problem, like a sexual addiction problem. Like I did the detective work because you know, he was acting funny, and he had woman after woman after woman that he had been sleeping with. And I think the greatest I guess the light at the end of the tunnel for me, because I just couldn't be thankful enough that, number one, I didn't get an STD. I didn't get, like, you know, any kids or anything where we were tied down. I was grateful that we did not get married, because that would be, it's devastating already that you are in a relationship, a serious relationship, because we had dated for a couple of years. And it's devastating enough to know that you're in a serious relationship with someone that you think that it's going to go somewhere, and then this happens. But to actually tie the knot with somebody, you are now legally bound to someone, and to find out that this is what they're doing is even worse, because it's harder to get out of that. Right. But and needless to say, I was angry, I was hurt, and it was completely devastating. And it made me feel like, I think the first thing that happens, especially when someone steps out on you, is like you start thinking like, well, what was I not doing, or what was wrong with me, as if it's your fault that they made the decision to go out and do what they did. Right. Because no matter what you say, cheating is a choice.
It is.
Right. It's a decision that you make. You can sit up here and people can make excuses for, I wasn't getting this from the relationship. Well, that's not what you were getting. Then you should have communicated that to your partner. Well, I did. I communicated to them, but like, well, did you actually have a conversation, or were you throwing hints? Because just like you can't read my mind, I can't read yours. You see what I'm saying? Right. So, you know, but long story short, I ended it. Because and you know, when you are heavily invested in someone and it doesn't work out like that, the first thing you do, of course you're hurt and it takes time to get out of it, but you tend to try and, you know, look at what did you do wrong. Right. And in this particular situation, it had nothing to do with me, but everything to do with the demons that he was dealing with. Right. It was. You know, that's just what that was. I learned a lot after that experience, though, and rather than rushing into another relationship. I did actually take a step back to take time to realign myself spiritually, mentally, emotionally. I started really doing work on myself, like esteem wise, because like it does take a toll on your self esteem.
It does.
It does. I don't care what anybody says. Some women who, or even men who are in situations where their spouse where their significant other keeps cheating, and you make whatever kind of excuses you want to. Oh, is this, is that? But it takes a toll. The toll it takes on you mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. I personally can't live with that, because happiness can never dwell or ensue in that place when mentally, your mental, spiritual, and emotional aren't aligned. Right. Then like happiness can never ensue there.
Right.
So yeah, the what I did was I bought a couple of spiritual books on philosophy, spirituality. I also bought this book. It's called the Self-Esteem Workbook. It has quite a few different exercises in there to help you understand what healthy self-esteem is and how to develop that. And it's not like a overnight process. It is an ongoing process, because we are works in progress. Right. But I think the biggest thing is I didn't want to wake up at 60 years old and still be angry and lashing out at people and incapable of having a healthy relationship because of the hurt and pain that I got from one relationship year that happened years prior. So to do that, you have to really take the time to go through that pain.
Right. And that definitely leaves a mark for growth, if we choose to, because again, you don't want to be a contentious woman or a contentious man or holding on to that bitterness, because if your life expectancy is to live to 100 years old and that bad relationship only lasted 5 years of your life, why are you gonna waste so many of your the years that you could possibly be flourishing in and allowing a new love, a real love, to enter into your temple, to have to go through all of the ins and outs of torture, and it's a choice in everything. Like if a person chooses to step out or leave or whatever it is, it's your responsibility for yourself to take charge of yourself again. And it's always that thing. I always quote the Bible, because that's the tool that helped me. Like I literally reread the Bible, did a lot of journaling, and I spent a lot of time in nature. I live in New York. We live in New York, and there aren't that many safe haven places in the city. So so what I would do is I would go to Central Park. That's my go-to, Central Park and Bryant Park. Central Park, tune the world out, and I would just sit in the park for hours upon hours upon hours, and having conversations with God, trying to figure out what my purpose is, because you lose yourself. When you're in these relationships and you make plans and you have to replan everything, just throw all of those things away, all of those things that gave you hope and promise, because they are now a vapor. They no longer exist. And now you have to take charge of your life. And this is why, for me, everyone's different. But I know some people who've never not been in a relationship. They've always been in a relationship. So, and I think they're afraid to kind of get to know themselves. And to some degree, maybe they're blessed to just be able to have a guy always on speed dial, or a woman always on speed dial. That's never been my thing. I've never had that privilege. Guys will confess that they've always liked me years later. I don't know what that is. I don't get it. But that's just my story. I don't understand it. For me, I wish they would possibly say something. I'd probably be married with children by now. But I digress. I have a calling. We're in the arts, so not everyone appreciates that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like Tay was saying, you can't make anyone your whole life. And I think
Right.
so much of us get lost in the sauce of just the bliss of the romanticism of it all, and
You
are
know what?
living for another person.
Uh,
Huh?
you know something I've learned? I was watching, you know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is?
Mm-hmm.
He has a master class, and I watched the master class, and he had one section of the course where he was talking about cognitive biases. And basically what cognitive biases are these flaws in our reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going through a few different biases that we have, and one in particular was called selection bias. And what that is it's we have a natural tendency to attach ourselves or cling ourselves to things that agree with our beliefs or our culture or our anything that like we actually like, you know, we relate to. And a lot of times in relationships, what happens is that selection bias kicks in. And how selection bias works is, let's say out of 10 characteristics, you see 3 characteristics that align with what you think would be a good spouse or a good partner. And you lock in on those 3 characteristics, completely ignoring the 7 other characteristics that says this is not the one. This don't do it, girl. You know girl. So what ends up happening is so often we find ourselves in these situations and we have locked in on the traits that we feel like, oh, this could be my husband. This could be, and for those who date with the intention of marriage. Oh, this could be my husband. This could be my wife. This could be it. This could be the one. When completely ignoring all the signs that are there that says this is not, like, just move on. You should move on that. And going back to what you were saying with the Bible, if you are a Christian, you do believe in the Bible says find someone that's equally yoked.
Exactly.
Find somebody who is on the same page. And that the selection bias, going back to what Neil deGrasse Tyson was saying, it makes perfect sense, because that's how you see someone hanging on in a relationship so long, and you be like, oh, you didn't see that person was like that the whole time? Like, you didn't see that? Oh, you just finding out he a creep? You just finding out she ain't working it? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's clear. Plain as But to the person who was in a relationship with them, they locked in on those traits that they find appealing, and they end up hanging in there so long. And one other thing too, I find interesting: a lot of people will fall in love and get their heart broken, and then say, "Oh, F love, I don't ever want to be in love again." And love is not the enemy. Love is not what hurt you.
Right.
What it is like, for instance, love is an amazing state to be in. It is absolutely beautiful. It's so intrinsic, and like, I'm talking about, it's heavenly. So, like, personally speaking, I wouldn't mind being in love again at all. But here's the problem. It's not that I don't want to be in love again. It's that I don't want to be in love with someone who isn't in love with me.
Right.
And that's the defining difference. A lot of people get their heart broken, more so men in particular than women. But a lot of times they get their heart broken and will say, oh, I don't ever want to be in love again. Well, love is not the problem. The problem is, so oftentimes we fall in love with people who aren't in love with us.
Right.
And then when the reality sets in and it all comes crashing down, then it's like, oh my God, love is so horrible as the enemy. No, love is amazing.
It's a beautiful thing. It's created for that purpose, for that harmony. Absolutely. And go ahead.
Yeah, you got to find someone who is on the same field. Like, when you go into the dating field, if you know you are dating with the end game being marriage, then you need to date someone who is who their end game is marriage too. It's not to say that we got to get married today or tomorrow. That's the whole purpose of the courting phase, to see if you guys are on the same page. If you do match up, if this will be a great partner to marry. But if someone, and I have seen this, I don't know how many times, women are in a relationship with a man and he'll be like, I don't want to be married. I don't believe in marriage. Marriage sucks. In the back of her mind, she's like, oh, I can change his mind, or if I show him how great of a woman I am, if I just show him, if I give him love, appreciation that he needs, I make him feel like a man. I can change his mind. If I can show him that I am wifey material, if I show him that I am worth it, then I can change his mind. No,
you can't change nothing. Let me tell you something. A man is going to do what he wants to do, when he wants to do it, how he wants to do it, and who he wants to do it with. And in that same notion where you're talking about relationships, I've seen multiple relationships where people been going in 10 years strong, 10 years strong. Babe, when we going to get married? I love you. Oh, my God, we've been doing this for so long. I'm tired of shacking up. Like, babe, soon, soon, soon. When they finally break up, 3, 5 months, a year later, he don't marry somebody else. And this is why you cannot lose yourself for another man. You have to own your worth. And you ever notice the type of men that, the type of women that men marry is a woman that's not going to put up with their foolishness. A woman that's going to be like, listen, this is who I am. I love myself. I'm confident in my skin. And if you can't oblige me in this situation as far as growing or being this or not treating me not treating me respectfully, then you can go about your business. It's a woman who asserts herself. And those are the men who be like, yo, I ain't never been challenged like this. She made me want to be a better man. Those are the women that men choose to be with. And you can't get mad at another woman. Oftentimes this happens to me. I might meet a new guy, right? Not might, but I do meet a new guy. When I do meet a new guy and he's interested, we're both interested in each other, the vibe is dope, right? Okay? This often happens to me. All of a sudden, I know how the energy or the universe work, or she be spying, but it's the ex who want to come around because she sees the caliber of the woman that I am, and it gets jealous because all the work she should have been doing, not just on herself, but within the relationship, it has been faulted. So now she's threatened that she's not going to have access to wrap him around her finger anymore. So oftentimes men, you know, listen, I'm not going to try to hold anybody hostage. If you want to go there, go there. But what you're not going to do is put me as a back burner bitch or string me along. So if you want to go work that out with your ex, you go right ahead and do that, because, and kudos to you. And oftentimes the ones that do choose to go back to their exes often regret it. Like, damn, I wish I would have chose you, but oh well, too late. Sorry. You understand? Because my biggest thing is an ex didn't work out for a specific reason. You understand? And you have to be confident and assured in yourself that you know your worth. Kings and queens listening to this right now, wear your crown. Shift your crown to make sure that it's straight. You understand? Because we're going to go through some things. And this is why I chose to be celibate, because I do not want to deal with counterfeits. You understand? I want to be able to see through the BS. And your body, your temple is something that is sacred. Sex is sacred, just like love is sacred. You understand? It's not taboo. Sex is supposed to be the bomb.com. Okay? He made it for a reason. So I'm not going to waste any precious energy that I've done in healing on somebody who may not be worthy of it, or somebody who's lying his whole way through, or somebody who's cheating his whole way through, and putting my body in jeopardy of not just the spiritual connections that he might be having with other women, but diseases, like you were saying earlier, and a whole lot of other shit. Okay? But this is not a male bashing session. This is just what we've gone through as women. And I know a lot of men have gone through it too. And we have about 10 minutes left. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the question box so we can answer them. But is there anything else you wanted to add to that, Shumerria, or, you know, talk about?
Yeah, I think it's more important to vet more the people that you're dating. Number one, know what it is you want before you get into the dating world. Do you want a relationship, or are you looking for just a companion right now? Are you looking for a husband or wife? Because and what are you looking for in a husband or wife?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then when you go through the dating process, you got to look at, do our ideals match up?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another big problem in relationships. A lot of people, why a lot of relationships don't work out, why a lot of people have issues, is because your idea of manhood may not be the same idea of manhood that was set for me. That's my idea. It's not the same example that was set for me. I learned that too. His idea of womanhood may not be the same my idea of womanhood.
Right.
You know how they run to conduct their finances. All that matters in a relationship. When you're talking about looking for a partner or looking for someone long term, if you're not looking for someone or something long term, you just looking, hey, look, I'm just looking for somebody that we just having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying each other's company. Then you know you need to be cognizant of that too, because
don't be like Chrissy in these streets.
Right. You know, it's called up as a booty call, and now you want more, and then it's like, well, wait a minute. You know, the other person, wait a minute, that's not what this is. You can't get mad. So
right. And go ahead. What you gonna say something else?
And long story short, I think the biggest thing is, especially after to get back to the topic at hand, we were talking about, how to heal out the heartbreak. Number one, especially if you know the relationship is damaged beyond repair, let it go and get yourself together. Really do the work and look inside yourself before you jump into another relationship, because your next relationship could be one that is, valuable, that could work. It could be long term, but because you haven't really dealt with the baggage from your last relationship, it ruins everything. And being aware of your biases, like cognitive biases, like Neil deGrasse Tyson said, like,
Right. And that's so true. And the cognitive biases, or the shallowness, if you want to just put it in layman's terms, don't be shallow. Don't be shallow. Like, I was listening to a live and somebody was like, oh, he got to be 6'2", and the dude was like 6'1". I mean, like, seriously. And I'm not saying to settle. I do believe that God, what we put out there is what we will get back. If we know we want somebody who's attractive and also carries the same qualities and core characteristics that we value, that's possible. You don't have to settle. Like, I don't ever want anyone to settle. Don't settle.
I think people have to learn the difference between settling and being like realistic. Because a lot of times we be outside of our dating grade. Like, for instance, I see a lot of guys want the baddies with the fatties, but you want her personality to be like, the homemaker, the traditional wife homemaker. And then at the same time, women want the 6'2", like, tall, dark, and handsome, or like light skin with light eyes, and you want him to be faithful when a whole fleet of women like throwing a vagina at him, and he can't turn them down. Like, so you just have
setting boundaries. Yeah, it's setting boundaries and having self-control. Setting boundaries, having self-control, and then going right back into it. How love your neighbor as you love yourself. Love your spouse as you love yourself. Love your parents as you love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love anybody else. If you do not love yourself, you cannot love anybody else. Let that resonate into your spirit today, on your Saturday, for the rest of this day. Just think about that. Do you love yourself?
You gotta have that. The sis, do you?
Right.
Right.
Girl, and if you don't have the qualities that you're looking for, fix that. Fix that, because nobody can fix that for you. And you're going to keep going after relationship, and crying and having nothing but heartache. You understand? I have a daddy. I love him to death. You have a daddy. You love him to death. You understand what I'm saying? Our daddies are different. My daddy liked women. Your daddy was a faithful husband. I'm just saying, we got the different dynamics of the relationships with the daddies, but that don't mean I don't love my daddy. That don't mean you don't love your daddy. But I can understand the women that he led on, they never set the boundaries. They never set the boundaries. They never did. And ladies and gentlemen, please don't. If I ask you for one thing, do not settle in life. And when you were talking about the 30 to 70, I think oftentimes people flip that. And naturally, when somebody has all the great qualities, then it's like, oh, they're too good to be true. This is real. What's wrong? What's really wrong with them? I don't want this. But they'd rather deal with the person who only has 30% of what they're looking for versus the person who has 80 or 70 or 80% of what they're really looking for. So that just shows you how warped our society is and how conditioned we are, that we focus so much on the aesthetics that we don't deal with the spirit. And the last thing I want to say, Shumerria, is that this is where the generational curses come down from. It's, well, he got a nice car and a nice job and he looked good, but his insides is rotten as hell, or her insides are rotten as hell. So go ahead. Yes, take boundaries all day. Go ahead. Exclamation. Shit. Pissing me off in here. Sorry, bringing up old memories. Go ahead.
Like so many different ways we can go with this conversation, and you know, we could be on the phone for hours talking about this. But, yeah. It's definitely. I think a lot of it is you have to look at the type of person that you're dealing with. Because I've heard a lot of guys, they, you know, they're nice guys, but they say, oh, all women are like this, and they, you know, they always want a kind of certain kind of car, a certain kind of house, certain kind of this, certain kind of that. Well, you have to look at the type of women you dealing with, because not all women are like that. You know what I mean? You have a lot of women out here who are willing to work with you. You know, you ain't got to have like 6 figures, you ain't got to be a millionaire, but like, you know, she'll work with you. You know, hey, but it's what kind of women are you dealing with?
Right.
Same thing for women. Like, look at, if you feel like all men are dogs, then you need to look at all the men you're dealing with, because that shapes your perspective. Like, because, and I can, in all fairness, say I know some really good men who are faithful, who won't cheat. I know a couple of dudes who, like, you know, their social circle has tried to get them to cheat on their significant other, and they just won't do it. You know what I mean?
Value them, yeah.
Right. And then, you know, you got, I know quite a few men too who, you know, they sleep around, they creep around. You know, if they get bored, or some men creep just because they just like to do it. You got some men who creep just because, you know, to be spiteful. So it's just, you have to remember what kind of man you're dealing with. You know, a lot of women say, and you know, to no fault of their own, you know, we are groomed to not only when you find a husband, you find someone, a spouse to marry, make sure that they're able to financially provide for you. You know, so, you know, when a woman says she wants a man who make a certain kind of money because she wants to live a certain lifestyle, and in all fairness, you know, there's nothing wrong with wanting that, but it's certain things that come with that kind of man.
True. Go ahead.
So you have to look at the kind of person that you're going for. A lot of times, the kind of woman that, like, you know, when the kind of woman that a man wants to marry, like, you know, the ideal traditional woman that a man wants to marry, like, she's a good girl. She don't go out to the club. She don't hang out, you know, all times of night. She's like a homebody. She's a lot of times, like, you know, the ideal traditional woman, like that, you know, most men want, you know, that they have in their mind to marry. She's not that type of chick, like, you know, that's gonna be all flashy. She don't wear tons of makeup, but yet that's the one they go for. Because, like, when they go out or they go somewhere, they want everybody be like, "Dang, man, that's you right there. That's you. She bad." You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, you have to look at the type of people that you're going for.
Right. That's so valid. And you know, they say you could tell the caliber of a man by the woman. Hey, Eric, you could tell the caliber of a man by the type of woman he has on his arm. So when you look at Barack and Michelle, you could tell she's his rock. You understand? Not saying he's a perfect man, but she's his rock, and the essence of who she is. She's a woman. And then you have the Kanyes and Kims. You understand? Like, that's who his caliber of woman is. But yet, you know, I digress. But nonetheless, you can tell the type of woman or the type of man that he evolves into by the woman he chooses. And oftentimes, after they're done playing the games and they tired and everything done wore out, at the end of the day, oftentimes they go right back to square one with the same thing that they were running from in the beginning is what they go right back to. Meaning the type of woman, the essence of a woman, the wholeness and homeliness of a woman, aka a la wife. You understand? So they go through all the ripping and running of society until they find themselves is when they find what they're really looking for. And usually it's a wholesomeness that they end up looking for. This is a dope conversation. We got 2 minutes left. Any of y'all got questions? Listen, I ended with Sunshine Anderson. What? Okay. Club, get on up with Erica J. Don't start. Okay.
Why you need to play James Brown? That's what I think about every time I say get up, get on up, get on up. Like, look, get on up.
Sex machine, get on up. But I really love this conversation, and I mean, I really want to encourage anybody who's going through a heartbreak, has gone through a heartbreak, and is still trying to heal. One of the first things that I did was, again, like I isolated myself and got into nature. You are so worth so much more, and be, again, who you want to attract. If you want somebody to be able to take care of you, make sure you're able to take care of yourself. You understand? Be able to be exactly who you need your spouse to be, but be that for yourself first. And I think that when you are doing the work, the suddenly will happen. That fine man gonna swoop us up, girl. Okay, all you ladies and brothers in here, that fine sister with all the right weaponry gonna come into your life and be like, I'm your queen. Okay?
No, she's your queen.
I love it. I love it. This was so dope. I hope you all were fed from this conversation. We got less than a minute. But I love you, Shumerria. You my sister, my ride or die, my Aquanetta Harris. Okay? You Southern girls with big dreams, girls. Okay, let it out. and the Academy goes to. But yes, I value this, and thank you so much for being a part of Get On Up with Erica J. And let me just tell y'all real quick, we still got a little time, but I had this inkling to do this show, finally put in the work to do it. And every guest on here, I did not ask any of these guests that y'all see. I was like, look, I got this idea. I need you to do this, and this is the day you coming on. So everybody,
this your topic, this your day. Here you go. What time you want to come out to? I was like, well, damn, okay. Oh, well, all right.
It was not an option. So everybody who has been a part of it, everything from Words of Wisdom Wednesdays to Single Saturdays to Triumphant Thursdays, you already know, and know that I love you for your patience with me and just your support, because y'all didn't have to do it. And without you guys, this wouldn't be in week 4. And I hope you all are being uplifted from it. Be sure to like, if y'all Shumerria's friends, y'all know me. My name is Erica J. Wood. I am TV me. And that's Erica with a K. No. But no, seriously, just love yourselves daily. Do self-work. Start with journaling. Look yourself in the mirror and just affirm, I am beautiful. I am talented. I deserve love. I am love, and I am the love that I want to receive. So I hope this touches somebody today. Any last words? Last words, Sister Hunty, Shumerria, Aquanetta?
Be beautiful. Be unapologetically you. You know what I mean? And yes, continue to be great. Don't let nobody tell you down. And Joe Biden has officially won.
Hey. like Jamie would say, Chester Cheeto is no longer in the building. Okay. I love it. So I hope you all have an amazing weekend. I hope you all learned something, and I love you all. Thank you so much, Shumerria. I love you. Tune in next week for Single Saturdays, and go be greater than yesterday, beautiful people. Bye. All right, I'm going to get you out of here. Girl, every single time I try to get out here, I never know what the hell I'm doing. So put your X. Girl, click your X. I'm going to click your X. You click it. I'm going to click it. Remove. Okay.
Now I click mine. Shit. And why is it? You know what? Thank you, Trish, because now I don't know where my ex went. It just disappeared. So y'all have a good. I got 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3. Y'all have a